everybody and welcome back to Palmwood Resort. Now I hope everybody enjoyed the first episode, because it's a new type of series on my channel. I didn't really know how it would go down, but it seemed to go down okay. You would have already seen the bar that I talked about in the previous episode of this series. I said that I wanted to build a bar nearby. You did see that in the opening cinematics, but I didn't really want to show it on camera because I kept making things and then deleting them, and it wasn't very entertaining to watch. Anyway, I sort of want to get started with a question. There should be a poll appearing around about now, but do you guys want me to do voiceovers in my recreations or just this series? Because I feel like it's harder to know what I'm building in this creative series because it's not actually like something that exists. But yeah, let me know what you think about that in the comments, and make sure you do the poll that's in the information card or whatever it's called. Right, what am I building? I am building some windows using these arch pieces. Instead of using the windows, I've moved on to stucco walls because I don't want to keep using the same texture over and over again. But these archways look like a really good idea for a window, so I did that, and I think they look alright. And I've just copied over the door that I made. Now you may have or may not have already noticed that this video is quite long. I think this is about 4 hours of work squished down into 20 minutes. So this time lapse is a bit faster than the one in episode 1. But I thought if I want to like try to show as much as I can without having a 30-minute long video. Also in part 1, I did mention about me thinking of doing a water park. I decided that I will be making the water park because the size of this buffet, and with all the other 5 restaurants I'll be having, which it'll be a steakhouse, it'll be an Oriental, Mexican, I think Italian, and a Spanish restaurant. But just because of the size of the buffet, it only makes sense to have a water park. And plus, I found these really awesome pieces, these waterside pieces on the workshop. So I thought if I have the pieces available, then I might as well make one. Another idea that I actually didn't mention in the last episode, I did say I had multiple, but I also thought it'll be a good idea to have a mini golf course. A couple of the hotels I've been to do actually have a mini golf course, and because this is 4 families, I thought that would be suitable to have in my resort. I'm going to keep saying this in practically all of these videos for Palmwood Resort. If you do have any suggestions for anything I can add into this resort, put them in the comments, and if I like the idea, I might actually build it. I would just like to take a moment just to actually talk about my next recreation. I will be posting teasers on my Instagram and Twitter very soon. The links will be in the description of the videos. I think they're in the description of all of my videos actually, but yeah, I will try to be posting teasers of that on there. Right, I haven't really been talking about what's going on. At the moment, I'm building the tea bag holder for like in the morning. Obviously, this is where they would store tea bags. For some reason, I'm saving it as a blueprint. I don't know why I'm doing that. I did sort of make this drink station off camera as well because I couldn't find anything that I liked. I don't really know why I struggled to make this because it's like a simple drink stand. I don't need to make it special. At the moment I'm just extending the wall for where the kitchen would be. I'm not actually going to be doing like a real kitchen. I'll just be adding the space for it because I have no idea what a hotel kitchen looks like, to be honest. I could look it up, but there's no point because nobody's really going to be looking at that anyway. Right, our first food stand, if you will. I don't know what they're called either. We're just going to call them a food stand. For these stands, there's going to be the same theme all around. I mean, it's an international restaurant. It's an international buffet, so there's not going to be like a heavy theme to the restaurant or anything. But there would be obviously for the restaurants themed around different countries. Speaking of which, I sort of tried to calculate how many rooms I would need just by the amount of tables I've placed in this buffet and a guess of how many chairs there would be in all my other restaurants, and I think it's around, I need 200 to 300 rooms. Hopefully the piece count won't be ridiculous because at Tidal Wave I'm at 140k pieces at the moment. It's running okay, but I have a feeling this is going to be a lot more, but hopefully it'll be fine. As you can see now, I've just made the sides for the, I don't know what I'm looking at cogs for. I've just made the side for this food stand using the piece, I think it's from the adventure pack. Like, they do have some really nice patterns, those concrete pieces, and I think I do use a few more of them around on the walls to just fill in blank spaces. Making the cover that goes over the food, I don't really know what it's called, but most of the time they have just a glass thing over all the food with a light in it. I do put that in eventually, I think. Right, I'm going to leave you for a bit while I make the restaurant, and I'll join you very soon. Right, so what have I just built? I've just built the area where say in the morning you want a fried egg, you go up to that counter and the chef will make it right in front of you. I don't really remember what else they could serve there, but I've had to add extraction systems there as well because I want to make it as realistic as possible still. And those grills that I made were actually sink pieces. I didn't really know what else to use, but I think even though they're behind the counter, nobody's going to go back there. They're alright for what they are. At the moment I'm just building just another food stand, a simple circular one, using the same pattern for a bit of consistency with the little bit of theming that is going to be here. You can see just in the background that I have made a bar. I think I forgot to hit record for that one. I tend to do that a lot and I just can't help it, but nothing special, it's just a simple bar. Oh, here's that piece that I wanted. I think I did go to use this earlier, but I just used these pieces just to fill in blank spaces. I tried to make them look like it's part of the theme, because I don't want to just put things on the wall just to fill in blank spaces. So I need to make it look nice at the same time. Trying to add a plant pot that fits, because all of the in-game plant pots are quite big, so I ended up using a TNTK piece, which a lot of the TNTK plants are really nice. The only thing that I don't really like is the grass, they're a bit too shiny. At the moment you can see me doing some lighting. I was going to use those chandeliers that go through the lobby, but they're a bit too big, so I ended up just using these spotlights, which work out quite well. For these tables actually, I used I think they're road signs, and they work quite well because the back of it's metal, but they look like marble, so I thought that I would use that for well, I've used that quite a lot actually. For the bar I used it too. And the good thing about that is that you can have different sizes. So I've got some square ones and I've got some rectangular ones. Here's a smaller rectangular one that I'm building for 2 people. I've realised that at the moment I want it, because I'm using 2 of them, I can flip them around and then have like a red outline, but I forgot to colour those ones, so they had a yellow outline, so I was just fixing that. Yeah, I am quite happy with how versatile these pieces can be. You can make quite a lot with just these road signs actually. Yeah, unfortunately most of this is just placing tables, but it's part of the process, so I had to show it. Oh, I also built a long rectangular food stall, food thing off camera too. Those speakers there, I know it's a bit sad, but I thought for realism I had to put a cable going to them. Nobody's really gonna notice that. I did make a little soundtrack of just lobby music. It just adds to the experience of the hotel. And for variation, I'm actually adding just another layer, and this area I think I make it into like where the kids' food would be, because they have to, most of the time, if it's a family resort, then they'll separate the kids' food from like normal food. Normal food. Okay. But I tried to just lower that to make it look different and interesting. I also add like a dessert area there. Right here I've had to extend or add a little extension to the wall because it didn't really look right with a flat wall there. And then I'll just use those windows that I made. For this roof actually, which is a bit silly, if it were to rain, the water would actually run off of this because I have built it at the slightest of angles, which is good for realism, but is really annoying trying to build with it because, as you can see, there's like little, you can see it where the layers have changed. It's probably hot enough where this is located that it would evaporate anyway, but here I've just used these diner doors to make an area for where the staff can go to the kitchen. I'm not too sure if they fit that well with the theme, but they look okay. Those stations that I'm buzzing about at the moment, they have those most of the time in hotels, just where the staff could go. They have their little stations where they go and or they go to put cutlery away. Here you can see that I've replaced that rectangular food stall with the one I made before. It didn't really fit that well, so that one fits better. Here's that dessert area that I was talking about, and I found these refrigerators on a workshop and they fit quite well for like ice cream and maybe frozen yogurt or something like that. Just added another one of those drink stands so that people that are at the far side of the restaurant don't have to go all the way to the other side to get a drink. I think this is the last thing I do. Just add in these pieces from the adventure pack just to fill in these blank walls, and I try to make it fit in. I do put a border around it so that it doesn't look out of place, and because I've tried to have a red-ish sort of theme, I do recolour a few of them. But that does about wrap up this video. I hope everybody enjoyed watching. I am quite enjoying making this resort at the moment. Don't forget, leave suggestions in the comments, and I will see you in the next video of making Tidal Wave. Goodbye.